Okay, and I think we are live. So, hello everyone, this is Ledger Forever, and this is now my first ever live stream. I actually did do one before this, but for the few people that actually saw that, we're not talking about that because, yikes, that was bad. And so, if you have any questions, then just feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will I will be able to answer most of them probably, unless it's like a personal question. In which case, if it's a personal question, please do not ask it because that's not something that I'm going to be doing. I am a movie guy, so ask me anything about movies that you want to. So if you have any questions, then feel free to ask them. I am still so new to this that I'm going to be trying to figure out a way to do this. So, uh, do we have any questions? Okay, not right now. So, thank you all so much for this. This is such an achievement because I am currently at, I believe, 174 subscribers. Huge deal. And we have Laser Plays in the house. Sup? Well, hello, Laser Plays. He actually, you are my brother, so I know you. So I'm trying to figure out put user. No, I'm trying to figure out how do I use this. Not okay, not that. So So for now, we're just gonna be for now until we get some other people. One away from 175. Yes, I am, and pinned my comment. Yes, I did. So until we can get a good amount, let's see what we can go for. And right now, I have Laser Plays in the house, and so far, no one else. Hopefully, I should be able to get some other people in here soon. And this is my first ever live stream, so yeah. And let's see how I do for now. I can already tell I'm doing better than I did for my first one. You guys will not be able to find my first one because it was so bad I decided to delete it. And quick question, what can everyone see on the screen? And we got Film Kid here. Hey buddy, good to see you. Okay, good, we can see the Terminator. Now we don't have the black screen anymore. So it looks like we're doing good for now. And also, like I said, if you have any questions about movies, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you have any ones that you want to recommend me, that's good too. If you have any other ones that you think I would be interested in watching or asking me if I've seen any, and Backtrack Cinema, hey, good to see you, and glad to see that you can make it for my first ever live stream. Well, technically second, but this is my actual first. So good to see that I have a good number so far. So, like I just said for the bazillionth time now, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. What is your favorite genre? That's a hard one because I'm thinking because my favorite genre. If I'm talking about movies in general, which one has the best option? I would go with sci-fi because that is like The Matrix, The Terminator, and also some really good ones. But if I'm feeling the one that I really love, I would probably go action because that is a one that I have always loved and that I am now at like my peak of knowing all sorts of really good action movies. But if I'm going for the one that I'm wanting to if I'm going for the one I'm really wanting to, if I had to only keep one genre, it would probably be sci-fi though. Action and horror are neck and neck for me. Okay, that's a good choice because horror has some really good ones, but if you're thinking about some of the ones that have some of the worst sequels, horror is also up there as well. But horror has a lot of really good classics up there, so that is a good choice, Jason. So, oh, so far we have 3 watching. Don't forget to like if you're not already. And also make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's see if we can get to 175 subscribers by the end of this live stream. That would be really fun. So what is your favorite horror movie? Oof. My favorite horror movie. I want to say The Conjuring. I have not finished it yet though, so I cannot say that one. So If I'm going for pure horror, I cannot use Predator, so because I have not seen too many horror movies outside of that, so I'm trying to think what is a horror movie I've seen. I'm gonna count Alien because Aliens is more sci-fi, as more action, so I would have to go Alien on that one because Alien is the pure horror one. So my answer is Alien. So that is my answer. Maybe, but I have not seen too many. Psycho and Nightmare on Elm Street. I actually tried to be able to see Nightmare on Elm Street. I cannot see it at the moment. Not apparently not old enough for it yet. Psycho. I probably would not be old enough for. There's an infamous shower scene in the movie that's probably one of the most famous scenes in cinematic history. We got Laser Place, Tremors. That's not really a horror. That's more of an action comedy with horror elements. I did get scared of it. If you, how old am I? I am 14 years old. So there's some movies that I can see that I debatably shouldn't have seen, but to be fair though, that's usually an accident that I saw. So, but there's also movies that he is 14. Yes, Film Kid has seen a lot of my videos, so he would know that because I say in a few of mine. Okay, we've got a bit of confusion. I'm nearly 13. Yes, you are the Laser Plays because you are my brother. Laser Plays is my brother for people who do not know that. So far we actually are going good with this thing. Not not as strong as I want to, but so far good. I am 11, almost 12. Well, you're still in a pretty good phase of life. That was one of my favorites. Where I had a lot. Where my birthday is in under a month. Yes, I know. If you're telling that to my subscribers, then that's cool. Well, so far this is good. Jason, just so you know, I'm wondering, did you see my video on top 10 Rocky moments? Did you see that? If he's not in the chat, then I may have just wasted a question, but okay. Hopefully he is. If not, that's fine. Like I said, feel free to hit that like button if you have not already. So far, we have, I think it is 2 people watching. Yeah, I kind of got that laser. That he's probably not here. Okay. So if anyone has any questions, then feel free to ask them. Yes, I know, 2 watching. So I have the thumbnail of Terminator 2 simply because that is my favorite movie of all time. So I got a letterboxd. Yeah, yeah, buddy, that is great. I have my iPad with me here, so let me try and search that. Wait, what is your name anyway? On letterboxd. But that is great because now I have someone that I can follow. Well, another someone else that I can follow on letterboxd. But Film Kid, what is your name on there so I can follow you on there? It is in it is in my link to my channel. Got it. So far, actually pretty good. So far, way better than my last one. I'm just gonna be poking fun at that one a lot. I'll get make my name Laser Plays. Okay. Just taking care of something real quick. Should not take too long. See if you have any questions. No, not right now. Yeah, here it is. There we go. Okay, and there we go. Well, there you are, Film Kid, and you have now been followed. There. Okay, thank you for following me. Oh, that was fast. But you are quite welcome. But that is actually, you must be a really fast typer, or just had that already done. So I'm just gonna be keep on repeating things like if you have any questions, feel free to ask them because I don't know how often I'm gonna be doing this Q&A. Whenever I feel like it, I just made a promise to do it yesterday, and I wasn't able to get it done yesterday, so I am here to do it today. So that is my answer for that. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. The harder questions are some of the better ones because those ones like what is your most rewatched movie or something. That one may be a bit harder for me. I might have an answer. I just don't know how many times I've watched it. But I have a good amount of questions that I prepared myself for in case I got to ask them today. What is your favorite sci-fi movie? Wait, created. Not sure what that means, laser place, but what's your favorite sci-fi movie from Film Kid? My favorite sci-fi movie is Terminator 2: Judgment Day because, that, as I've said numerous times on my channel, that is my favorite movie of all time. Just such a satisfying character arc, and just making us feel bad when a robot gets uh, killed by molten steel. So that's just really sad. So that is my favorite sci-fi film. Aliens is also really close along with Predator. Those are my like top three. Aliens and Predator switch around. Predator is more rewatchable than Aliens, but I don't know which one I would prefer at the moment. Probably Aliens, just for Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. Just such a good character and so maternal, and yet so awesome at the same time. It is really good. Yes, it is because as I recall, Film Kid, that is your favorite movie of all time too. So Terminator 2, buddies. Yeah. so far we're so far we have so far we've made some good progress with this, and definitely this is a pretty good Q&A so far. And also, just so you know, I'm going to put the link to a few of the members of the genre challengers names still pending. I know it's that bad. uh, i'm putting the name of I'm putting the name of them in the comments so people can like subscribe to their channel, in case we have a new one. Have you seen the Suicide Squad? Are you talking about the 2021 movie or the 2016 movie? Because I have not seen either, but I plan to see them. Even though I hear that what is it? The 2016 one really sucked. So 2021, no, I did not see that one. I've been busy with the DCEU. I watched Wonder Woman recently. I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League, a billion times better than Justice League, I can tell you. Ugh. And but I've been a bit busy with that. I plan to see the Suicide Squad soon, and I may have to see the really bad cut though as well. So not excited about that, but hey, maybe there'll be a bit of enjoyment. I still need to watch the Snyder cut of Justice League. Yes, you do. It's pretty good. It's very long. It's 4 hours. So I believe the longest comic book film there is. So it's a challenging watch because of how long it is, but it is by a landslide better than Justice League, which is just a gross movie if you think about it. Okay, I cannot figure out how to put the other links in the description, so just subscribe to Film Kid, and he should be able to put in the other members. But of the movies I've seen in the DCEU, I've seen Blue Beetle. If that counts in the DCEU, they really need to make that clear. They have not been making that clear if it's in the DCEU, and it was a fine movie. I thought it was good, but a bit. My brothers do hype it up a bit, like saying it's now a bit overrated. I've seen that. I've seen Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, Justice League, the Snyder cut of Justice League. Well, most of it I have not been able to finish it because it is a long movie. That's a really hard watch to get in like 4 hours of your time to watch. And I'm trying to think, did I see any more of the DCEU? Oh yeah, I also saw Batman v Superman: The Ultimate Cut. I was not a big fan of it when I watched it, so I've grown a bit more fond of it. It's better than Blue Beetle in my opinion, but I'm not gonna be watching the regular edition anytime soon because why would I watch a uh, lesser version of a movie I wasn't even too fond of when I first saw it when I have an ultimate cut that's 3 hours long that's better? with more action. So and also some more violence. So it's a really cool movie. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna be watching the theatrical cut unless I need to cover it on my channel. In case this channel turns into like a big job I can do, that's that cool. So who do we still have in the chat? Because it says that we only have one waiting right now. So watching right now. So who do we have in the comments? Okay, I'll just wait for them to type if they can. Who is in the chat? So far pretty good. Okay, good. Film Kid's still here, and hopefully some other people will join soon enough, and I will have my fingers crossed for that. If you have any questions, like some really hard questions about movies that you can get off your head that you think would be really good, then feel free to ask them. This is not like a specific one. You can ask any question related to movies. So a hard question should be one that I would really find enjoyable to like really bash my brain in. I will let you know if it's too hard, but I doubt it would be too hard. But so far, it doesn't look too. So far, it doesn't look like I've gotten any questions that hard. What is your biggest movie hot take? Oh no. Oh no, I was afraid I was going to get this question. Oh no. If I say this one, I may have a lot of people watching this like report me for having such an awful take. But I said it in my video in my like 29 on 29. So here it is. I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse are overrated, especially Across the Spider-Verse. That one is I think they're both overrated movies. I have heard both of them be called some of the best movies of all time. They are not. Like they take plots that are they have similar beats of plots. They get a lot of love for things that other movies have done and done better. And also just because like Across the Spider Verse is now one of like the highest rated movies on IMDb. I can not believe that. Like there are some classics. Like it's higher than Terminator 2. Who would put Across the Spider Verse over Terminator 2? No one. Well, at least no one that has seen both and has common sense. Because it's just one of the reasons why if I ever get IMDb signed in so I can actually star films on there, I am tempted to just, even though I do like Across the Spider-Verse, to go negative on it just so I can push it back away from getting higher on IMDb because it just really sours me that it has to be that, it just has to have that much love. But I still like Home Alone is the best movie. I know that, Polly Boy. It is a good movie, even though putting it like John Wick is definitely a better film in my opinion. Also because Home Alone does have a bit of times that it strains a bit of logic where a lot of the traps in the first one and especially the second one really strain logic with the fact that Harry and Marv would have had their skulls broken into several different times. I know a person who thinks the Spider-Verse are better than the Dark Knight. What? Oh, come on. And that is exactly what I mean. That is how overrated they are. It's just something I really do not like about the films. They just get so sour for me. And it's just, even though I like them, putting them that high, they are not even close. Whew. But that's basically one of my rants about that. I plan to do a video on like top 5 movie hot takes. I can guarantee you they will be high on that list. But also another one was that for and rated is Heath Ledger's performance 6 out of 10. What? Okay, these people must be mentally retarded or mentally insane. There is no way. 6 out of 10. That's an easy 10 out of 10. He killed himself because of how deep he went into character. And you call that a 6 out of 10? I can guarantee the person who said that could not do a better acting performance than Heath. Heath is a fantastic actor who we lost too soon. But I also did think for a like long period of time, Toy Story 3 was overrated. And because I just thought that the movie was so dark, so I didn't like it at all. It was my least favorite of the Toy Story movies. Well, at least it was until Lightyear came along and just ruined Toy Story for me, and it's just a movie I didn't like. I have come back on the film. It's now my third favorite behind Toy Story 1 and 2, and which is odd because 4 used to be I used to put 4 higher than 3, which a lot of people would not be happy with me for doing, just to say the least. They were not too happy when I did that, but oh, so far we've had some pretty decent questions. So thank you all so much for watching. Let's see who's okay. We have 3 people watching. Okay, so hopefully, so I think it may be Polyboy, Film Kid, and Paul Boy. Oh, I always think of Polyboy when I see that. I have no idea why. Paul Boy, Film Kid, and who else? Who else is here that I did not mention? Just like put a letter in the comments so I know. Hmm. Are you going to watch the Hellboy movies? I do not know. They're on my watch list. I don't know if I am going to yet. They seem like some films that are not too good. I hear the remake in particular is awful. So I don't know if I'll see that one, but I may see them. But if the remake is as bad as I hear, then I may try. Then I may try not to because, ugh, man, those ones are. I hear a lot of really bad things about that one. So also the original and the second don't look too good. I know, I'm on an island with that one because Film Kid. I hear that you really like that one. I think that's like one of your favorite movies, like top 30. Wait, is it? I mean, I think it was when I watched one of your videos on like top 30 or top 20. I know that the second one is your favorite. That's what I know. The remake is horrible. Yep, and that tracks. That tracks. And that is exactly what I heard, and I did not. I think I heard once, like when I was little, about a movie called Hellboy, and it looked like pretty scary. And I have no idea if it's a horror film or if it's an action film. It looks like it's a blend of both, but either way, all 3 films look pretty bad in my opinion. Although to be fair, I did think Top Gun was bad when I first saw it. Same thing with Top Gun Maverick. Well, actually, I mean, I liked both of them, but I did find that they were nowhere near as good as they should have been. I came around to it. Don't worry, I love Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick was like one of the best movies is one of the best movies of the last decade, along with things like Prey, Air, John Wick Chapter 4. Those ones are awesome. But I do not know if I'll see them. I may if I'm old enough for them. If there's anything kinky about them, I may not be able to. No. Oh, okay. Guys, give me 1 second, real quick. What is your favorite heist film? Okay, I don't think I've ever even seen a heist film. I plan to see Ocean's 11 maybe about a few days. So Ocean's 11 maybe will I if you ask me this next time I do a Q&A and I've seen Ocean's 11, it may be that, but that may be a low bar. But actually no, here's my answer. This is going to sound extremely stupid, but this is my opinion. The opening scene of The Dark Knight as a short film, I consider that a good heist film because it is technically a heist that they're pulling to rob a bank. Whether you consider that, you can say that it maybe not be, but so far I don't think I've seen a single heist film. I'm still on the second Fast and Furious movie, so I haven't gotten to Fast Five yet, so I cannot say Fast Five. So there's a lot of answers, and not a single. That is amazing. Yeah, it is. That is probably the best opening scene of all time, and that is a lot of competition when you have some fantastic opening scenes. Like T2 has a fantastic opening scene, but The Dark Knight is just such a creative opening scene, and also is a very clever one. But also, I have a lot of nostalgia for The Dark Knight, loving it uh, for a long period of time. It's my favorite movie, and even though, okay, I'm gonna give everyone a secret real quick, but they cannot kill me for this. I did not like The Dark Knight as much when I first saw it. Here's the reason why. When I watched it at first, Heath Ledger's Joker terrified me. Like I could not stand that thing. That like he was such a demon. I mean, now looking back, he and Joaquin Phoenix are also very scary Jokers, and But he just there's like a jump scare where the Joker like throws a dead body through a helicopter and it hits the window. That came out of nowhere. I was like on the couch at that point, eating, and it was like, what? The first, same thing. I first watched it when I was like 5. Oh, I watched it when I was like 8 or 9. So, oh man, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you, buddy. So that must have been really hard for you to see. Yeah, but also the film portrays him as a really violent serial killer. Like also the pencil scene came out of nowhere. I showed it to my friend, who's like 2 years older than me. I showed it to my friend, and when he slams the guy's head on the pencil, and it terrified him. He was like, "What? That came out of nowhere." Traumatized me for like 2 years. I don't blame you, but I don't blame you, buddy. That is a very traumatizing thing to go through. And I got traumatized, and I was like 8. That's probably very sad of me to be traumatized when I'm like 8 years old. I should be brave at that point, but nope. I always just got. But to be fair, Child's Play. I saw the preview when I saw the preview of all 3 Child's Play movies in the same day. They terrify me because if you take a look at the previews of the Child's Play movies, they don't really portray the funny side of Chucky. They always portray the scary side of him. So I watched the trailer, and I'm like, what the? This thing is so terrifying. And I had to sleep with someone in my room or with the light on for a year, maybe 2. It was that is traumatizing. And then I'll rewatched it when I was 8 and ended up loving it. And now I feel bad for getting traumatized of it when I was 8. But to be fair, I was always a very a kid that got scared of things pretty easily. But I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at it now. I don't think I've gotten scared of many things. Like there's a jump scare that happens in Jaws that comes out of nowhere. That did trauma that did get me by surprise, but it wasn't too bad. It was nowhere near as bad as it should have been. I mean, it was nowhere near as bad as it was. But I'm doing pretty good now. I'm nowhere near the coward that I am now. Or I wouldn't be able to see some of the horror movies that I saw, like The Conjuring. Pretty intense film. It's not really a jump scare heavy one. I think that's more of the Insidious that you would find with jump scares. I haven't seen that one, but I think Film Kid, you told me that there were some jump scares that come out of nowhere. But it's a pretty good horror movie, The Conjuring. So, have you seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit? And if you have, what is your favorite hybrid movie? Which if you don't know what a hybrid movie is, it is an animated and live action movie combined. I have not seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I was not old enough for it when I first asked to, and I was like 9 years old. Now I know why I wasn't old enough for it. I believe I'm old enough for it now. I have not seen it yet. I may see it later. So the one that comes to mind is Space Jam. I think Space Jam is good. I think the second one is awful. The second one is Michael. What is his name? LeBron James is just so unlikable in that one, but I think that's a pretty good blend of it. I would say that one is. But to be fair, I haven't seen very many hybrid movies. I'm trying to think of one that's combined into live action and animation. There's an episode of The Simpsons, but that's a show where, like, at the end it goes into live action real quick as a joke. But I can't count that because that's a show, and also because not many people would probably think that's a very smart answer. So for now, I'll go with Space Jam. But like I said, have not seen very many hybrid movies. And fun fact, I actually liked the second Space Jam more than the original when I first saw it. And now looking back on it, yikes, that film was bad. What's your favorite Western movie? A Fistful of Dollars. A Fistful of Dollars. Thank you for asking that question now, and if I did a Q&A back, if you didn't ask me then, because I just watched A Fistful of Dollars. My dad went on a buying spree. He bought 2 Chuck Norris movies, Commando and the Dollars trilogy, because those are some of the manly ones that he wanted to show me because he loves those types of movies. So, A Fistful of Dollars I have already watched. He and I are still watching for a few hours more, and I've not seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly yet, but so far it's A Fistful of Dollars, and I love that movie. That is a great movie, like top 30 probably. It's one of the classics of the 60s. It's my favorite movie of 60s. I don't know because they had a lot of competition because you had Doctor No back then, you had From Russia with Love, and you had Goldfinger. Three fantastic Bond films. Goldfinger and From Russia with Love are the standouts, though, and Thunderball's also pretty good. Gets a lot of hate, though. I have no idea why. I think it's a lot better than You Only Live Twice and On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is also a hot take, just so you know. Like On Her Majesty's Secret Service is praised as one of the film films in the Bond franchise. I do not like that one. I think the acting in the movie by the Bond is awful, and same thing with the Blofeld. But there's really bad acting in that one, really bad. Uh, I need to watch the Dollars trilogy. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That is a great trilogy. That's a fantastic trilogy, and I haven't even finished it yet. I've just seen part of the for a few dollars more. I don't know what I'll get to finish it because my dad and I still need to get back on our Bond thing. We still have Roger Moore's era Bond films. We then have to pause to do Austin Powers because there's a spoof. There James Bond spoofs. So then I have what is it? Timothy Dalton's era of Bond films. Pierce Brosnan, and then finally Daniel Craig, where he has by far the best era of Bond films. Where I think Quantum of Solace is only like universally praised stinker of those ones, but I should still hear some relatively good things about that one. Quantum of Solace is Leon. Hi. Okay, you are okay. It looks like I now have both people of my first ever live stream that saw this, and just so you know, Leon and Film Kid, since I believe you two were, I believe, the only two present for my first ever one. If anyone else was present, but since you two were present, please forget that. Please forget that. Are you going to watch Sicario 1 and 2? They are both 10 out of 10s. I don't know if there's anything like if there's anything kinky about this movies. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Like if there's any like real nudity or anything, I will probably not be able to see them. But I hear there's a bit of drugs in that, but that's not really what my parents like will keep me away from. But DJ Dix, hi, good to see you. It looks like I have a good amount of my subscribers here, so and I believe two of my three have YouTube channels. So DJ Dix and Film Kid both have YouTube channels. The first one has some kissing in it, but that's pretty much it. For mainly rated R language, violence, and drug use. Yeah, that's what I assumed. I didn't assume that they would have too much bad stuff. Kissing is not really much of a problem. My mom and dad were a bit nervous when they looked up Rocky. And, there's a bit of there's like a very passionate kissing scene in that, but that's not too bad. And I do love Rocky. It's a top 10. It's borderline top 5. It's I think number 6 right now. But it's really mean of me to have to keep that at one out of my top 5. But I just think, man, there's so many good movies out there. How is it it's not able to be in the top 5? But it's better than The Terminator, in my opinion, which if you'd asked me earlier, I would have said The Terminator's better. But Rocky, I think, is just a more satisfying film, and The Terminator does have the effects that don't age too well. I think we can admit that if you see The Terminator, like when he's stitching himself up, the effects have dated really well. They have managed to really date it. Meanwhile, T2, one of the things, like even if you're biased against thinking that the Terminator is better than T2, one thing that everyone will agree with you on is that T2 has better effects. Like you take a look at T2 and just the way the T1000 like shapeshifts and all that, it looks gorgeous. And this is coming from the director who did Avatar, and he does this. And the original film does have some pretty dated stuff about it. What movie scared you the most? Child's Play did. I didn't even see that movie. I watched the preview of it, and I think the second one scared me the most because there was like a scene where it looked like Chucky like throws someone into a copier and it dusts them into her face. I do think it is in the movie, but it did scare me quite a bit. So it's not something I would want to. It's a movie that I'm trying to find somewhere to stream. It is so hard to find somewhere to stream that movie. And it's also real expensive to buy, and since they don't have a pack of it, I cannot get a discount on it. I'd have to buy one that's $14, one that's like $7, and I mean two are both $7. But that movie did scare me quite a bit. But if I'm thinking of one that scared me when I saw it, I would think The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight I did not like as much when I saw it. Like I just said, some of my past people that were just watching because Heath Ledger's Joker was just such a demonic and just such a scary person. The one scene in The one scene in Rocky is on the same level as the one scene in the first Sicario movie. The second one is pretty much clean for that type of stuff. Okay, then I may watch it. I hear both films are fantastic. Uh, to be fair, I didn't know what they were, but until I think Costa saw them and then told did a video that he saw the films. So then I was like, what is this film? So that's how I know about them. So still three watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you ask a question that someone else already asked, then I will let you know. I can let you know if you were not here first to know it. I have a letterbox review for both of them, so you can check those out and hear my thoughts on them. A Nightmare on Elm Street scared me the most. I think I was 8 years old when I watched it. Ooh, that must have been a really terrifying one because Freddy's a really creepy guy. Like really creepy. He's in the first one. He is in the second one. Probably the third one too, and the remake. 4, 5, and especially Freddy's Dead like really did a good job of like really taking slapping the Freddy fans in the face and just make him a complete clown. Insidious scared me the most with Tiptoe by the Window. I could not sleep for 2 weeks. I have not heard that song. It sounds familiar. Why does it sound so familiar? Did you watch my tier ranking of the Batman movies? That was my first video I uploaded. I actually did watch that one, and that was a pretty good list. Uh, I'm trying to think. I did have a tier list that I thought that you should really do. Like, what is it? It'll come to me later, hopefully. My first horror film was Halloween 5 when I was my eighth birthday. I am so sorry for you. I hear that one is really bad. And also, it doesn't sound like one that's too scary. Maybe a bit scary, but not. That doesn't seem like one that would scare you. It seems like one that would really show you that there really are bad movies in the world. Because I hear that one's really bad, but I hear Resurrection is worse. So as soon as I'm allowed to see the Halloween movies for my channel, I really am gonna have to suffer through that one because I hear Ends, Rob Zombie's both films, and uh, what is it? Halloween 5, Halloween 3 by some people's standards, and Halloween Resurrection. I hear all of those are awful. So I'm gonna be having a lot of stinkers to get through. I did it to Fast and Furious movies. You have seen which one? You have seen okay. Which one is your favorite? I have seen one. I have seen two, and I have seen most of four. I decided to skip Tokyo Drift because I hear that one takes place in the future, so I'm trying to go in like a chronological timeline. So to answer your question, I didn't like two. I thought one is pretty good, so I would say one is my favorite. Four is decent so far. I do hear a lot of people say it's the worst one. It's not my least favorite. I think two so far is pretty bad. I find the movie to be too much. It falls under self parody a lot of the time. So that one is. I hear that one so far is my least favorite. But to be fair, I have not seen Tokyo Drift yet, and I hear that one's even worse. Give me 1 second real quick while I take care of something real quick. I'm back. 8 is my least favorite. Yeah, I hear that one. I actually hear that one's pretty good by some people's standards. But to be fair, that might just be because Shaw is in that one, and I think Jason Statham's a really cool actor. So that's the reason why I probably would be more forgiving on it because I really like to see Jason Statham and The Rock like pick on each other, which is why Hobbs and Shaw looks like it might be one of my favorites. And I enjoy Halloween 5, but I'm not a fan of Resurrection. Why am I not surprised by that? Okay. No, it's because Dom is the villain. Yeah, that's one of the things people pick on the most. Have you seen Hocus Pocus 2? Unfortunately, I have. Believe me, that is one of the worst movies I have ever seen, period. I think that film is awful. Like, that film is unbelievably bad. It has no excuse for being that bad. It's making fun of the original at certain points. It like ruined the original one for me. That is how bad it was. It soured me on the original film, and I was not a big fan of the original film when I first saw it. I then loved it when I watched it again. So, what was the worst movie you've ever seen? The worst movie I've ever seen is Return to Oz. Unbelievably bad. The effects are so awful. Like they are so unbelievably dated. Like I think they were like dated when they came out. That is how bad they were. They came out in the 80s. They look so awful to this day. Like they are atrocious. The story's awful. The acting is awful. Nothing in the film is good. Son of the Mask is also really bad. And same thing with Speed 2 Cruise Control. But if I would go for the movie I hate the most, I would go with Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey because that one is just so offensive to me as a Winnie the Pooh fanatic. So, and Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines and Alien 3. Both films undo the ending of films that are in my top 3 films. So, just so offensive. Have you seen Inception or Tenet? If you have, which one is the best? I have not seen Inception and I have not seen Tenet, but I'm 99% sure that my favorite will be Inception. 99% sure. So, that I hear that both films are pretty decent. I hear Inception is by far better, but to be fair, this is Christopher Nolan we're talking about. He's like one of the best directors. He doesn't have like a bad movie in his ledger. Like even I think his first film is the worst of his, which is The Following, and people still say that it's good. Did you watch my video on top 10 worst movies I have ever seen? Not yet. That's one I also needed to take care of. And I hear Fant Four Stick is in that one. That's also a really bad one too. That's a really bad comic book film. Just so bad. There's a reason it got canceled. Well, I mean, I think I prefer Tenet. Ooh, that is a hot take. You're gonna get a lot of steam for that one. No offense. I'm just saying you can get a lot of hate for saying Tenet is better than Inception. Is there any remakes you think are better than the original? Yes, I think that The Jungle Book, which is a live action remake, and believe me, I hate live action remakes. Like the Alice in Wonderland is one of the worst movies I've also ever seen. Like there's a lot of really bad stinkers in the Billion Dollar Club, like Age of Extinction and so many others. Alice in Wonderland is still the worst. And so Jungle Book, I prefer that one to the original. I think that's more serious, and the original film kind of falls under self parody at times. Like it's not as long. The live action remake is significantly longer, and the it's just that it's a lot better in my opinion. But to be fair, I like the original one. I always have. I know. Yeah. My top 10 worst movies. My top DJ Dix. My top 10 worst movies I've seen. It's all. It's over half hour. It was longer than I expected. That video was a big rant. You're pretty good at the rants, and also I have to admit that you have a lot of good things that you can say about those movies in terms of you're very detailed in them. That's a really good thing. Something I always try to do. Film Kid, do you know what I'm gonna do a watch? Do you know what I'm gonna do a watch love kill? I'm pretty sure it's called These Are the Three Actors: Keanu Reeves, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Brad Pitt. Are you asking me I have to love one of these actors, as in say they're one of they're my favorite actor? I have to watch them and I have to kill one of them. So put in yes or no if that's what you're saying. Because if so, then I think I already have an answer for that one. Well, while we're waiting for that. So if you're in here, make sure to like if you're not already. Already 6 likes, pretty good, and we've had a pretty good live stream so far. So yes, okay, I have my answer. Thank you, Phil Kid. So In answer to your question, Brad Pitt I will kill because, to be fair, I think he's a bit overrated, just a bit. I have not seen too many of his movies, so. But the movies I have seen are nowhere near as good as the Keanu Reeves and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger has Predator, The Terminator, Commando, True Lies, Terminator. Wait, did I say Terminator 2? Okay. He has Terminator. Okay, let me start over. Terminator 2, The Terminator, Predator, Commando, True Lies, all sorts of fantastic films. So I would keep Arnold, and even though Keanu does have the John Wick films and the Matrix films, people do kind of like to be mean to the Matrix sequels. So I have not seen them, but I hear they're pretty bad. So anyway, I would probably just I would watch Keanu, even though he does have some fantastic films. Speed also is really good. Do you like musical movies? My favorite is Sister Act. I do like musicals. I think that they are. It depends on the one. There can be ones that are better than others. I have some I like. I'm trying to think. What is the name of it? It was on Apple TV. It stars Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. If anyone knows what is the Apple TV original, it's a musical. It's a really funny one. It was one of my favorites of the year. It came out. I think it came out in 2021. Does anyone know what it was called? Well, if anyone could search that real quick, that would be good. But so far, okay, Terminator 2 or The Dark Knight? T2. T2 is my favorite movie, so automatically it kind of gets a little edge over The Dark Knight. In terms of acting, it's The Dark Knight, but in terms of my personal opinion on which one, if I was stranded on an island and had to pick between one, T2 is the one. Uh, if I was stranded on an island that somehow managed to have cable TV, T2 is the one I would have to take. But if in terms of if I got my own movie I had to pick, I would probably pick Die Hard because it's so rewatchable, and I think it's a no, actually no, T2 is longer, but Die Hard's just so rewatchable and is an ultimate Christmas film. Yes, it is a Christmas film. That's not a debate. It is a Christmas film. Film Kid, my favorite musical, The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a good one. That's a good one. I do like that one too. Actually, yeah, that's up there. I'm trying to think. I'm just gonna really quickly search what is the Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell uh, musical that came out in 2021? Spirited. That one. That is a musical. That one is fantastic. It also does a. It's kind of like Will Ferrell plays this older version of Scrooge. Just he's now nice. It's hilarious. Believe me, you will love it. They even use Good Morning as a joke several different times as an insult. Believe me, if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It is hilarious. You will love it. So, Film Kid, I urge you in particular to watch that one if you have Apple TV. Believe me, you will love that one. Like, that's going to get you a lot of laughs. But that's one of my favorite comedies, probably, too. I have a lot of really funny comedies that I have. Will Ferrell, oh, just funny enough, Will Ferrell. I wanted to watch that, but I don't have Apple TV. Oof. Oh, man. But you'll love it. Trust me. Find some way to watch it and be ready to laugh your butt off. That is hilarious. It has a lot of really funny jokes that somehow will keep making you laugh. It really gets down to personal preference. Which one do you think is funnier, Elf or that one? I think that Elf is the better film probably, but I might see if it's on iTunes. I don't know if it's on iTunes. I think it's an Apple original. I don't know, but uh, maybe you'll find out. Did you watch my tier ranking of the Christopher Nolan movies? I did. I did watch that one, and you are really lucky to get to see so many movies, man. I've also been waiting to see Oppenheimer, but I found out that that one has some stuff in it, so I'm not gonna be able to see that one for a while. I can tell it's apparently that bad. But I've only seen his Dark Knight trilogy. I plan to see Interstellar soon. Inception, I also plan to see. But I'm starting to get out of the. What is your favorite Christmas movie? Die Hard. Yes, it's a Christmas movie. We don't need that debate. If I'm going for pure Christmas, like complete Christmas, not like Die Hard Christmas, Home Alone though. I'm actually gonna go Home Alone 2: Lost in New York, simply because I think the second one may be a bit better than the first, simply because of this reason. I think that the second one is longer, and I just love the original one so much. The second one's longer, is more of a broader location, so it has also funnier jokes that are hit harder. The traps are more insane and more brutal, so it's also much funnier. So they're getting a lot more. They're getting a lot more injured, and also the characters are more likable than the previous one. Like that, one of my biggest problems with the originals, the characters are unlikable, very unlikable. Film Kid, are you going to watch the Northman or Rush Hour? Buddy of mine actually tried to get me to watch Rush Hour, so I may try and do that one. I've never heard of Northman, so I don't know. And DJ Dix. I think Edward Scissorhands is also a Christmas movie. That's no debate either. Wait, it's a Christmas movie? I actually did not know that. I actually thought that that one was supposed to be like a horror film or something because it looks like one, or maybe just because it's like I think it's supposed to be black and white or something. Well, at least the cover of it is. Leon, Home Alone 1 and 2, and Jim Carrey, The Grinch are my favorites. That's a good choice. I find that the Jim Carrey's Grinch is underrated. I think it might actually still be my least favorite in the Grinch movies, but to be fair, the Grinch movies I've always loved. And he's also of all you can easily tell of the Grinches, he's the funniest. But to be fair, this is Jim Carrey we're talking about. This guy is a fantastic like this physical comedy that will really hurt him at times. Like you should see him in things like Liar Liar. He's really funny with that. That's a really funny movie that you guys have to watch. He does some really funny physical comedy to himself in that. Film Kid, you should search it up. It's basically a Viking movie. I kind of figured that part out. I haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailers, and from what it looks like, me and you would both love it. I don't deny that you're pretty good at deciding whether I'll like something or not. Same thing, vice versa. That's one of the reasons why I could tell that you were gonna like We Bought a Zoo. Speaking of which, guys, if you are looking for a recommendation for a movie to watch, We Bought a Zoo. Do not rent it, buy it. Watch it through Disney Plus. Do whatever it takes. That film is fantastic. I think it bombed pretty hard, but the film is fantastic. It is a drama starring Matt Damon and Scarlett Johansson. It's a fantastic movie. It's one of my favorite films of all time. You will love it. Film Kid will tell you it was fantastic. I think he gave it a 9 out of 10. And my buddy who also watched it, Hasta La Vista, baby. Nope, not from Terminator. The channel, the YouTuber, he gave it a 9.5 out of 10. So I'm pretty good when it comes to seeing what my subscribers will like. DJ Dix, Edward Scissorhands, kind of have that Christmas and horror theme. It's a good movie to watch on Halloween and Christmas. Kind of like Gremlins. I hear that one's also one of those movies too. Film Kid, I am watching Creep Show today. Don't know what that is. Sounds like a pretty scary movie though. Film Kid, it is amazing. He got me to watch it. It was so good. I did my review on my YouTube channel. If you guys want to see my thoughts on it. Yeah. Be sure to check that out. He was very good in that review. And believe me, you will love the film. It's one of the greatest of all time. Personally, I would say it's better than a lot of other films that he likes more, like Back to the Future. Oh no, I'm about to die for this one. I think Back to the Future is a bit overrated. I know. I just get people say it's one of the best movies of all time. It's in my top 30 or 40, I think, but it's not in my top 10. My top 10 is reserved for some of the greatest. Why can't you see Oppenheimer? I hear there's nudity in Oppenheimer, so I can't see that. And Leon, do you like any of the Scooby-Doo movies? No. I do not like the Scooby-Doo movies. I think Scoob is not very good. And I think the live action, like early 2000s Scooby-Doo 1 and 2 are awful. I can't stand those ones. They have some of the most blatant, in-your-face sexual references you can find in a kid's movie that like are staring you literally in the face. Like this is a movie targeted for kids, and they have some of the biggest references that did go over my head, but nowadays they are staring me at the face. They also just the films are in general are super bad. I really don't like them. Scoob is by far the best of the Scooby-Doo movies we've gotten that are like of that type, not like the animated ones. Even though Scoob is animated, it's still not very good though. Film Kid, what? I know. Film Kid, he gave the live action remake this for Scooby Doo 1 star on his letterbox. I was being nice to it there. I think I might actually need to switch that over to 1.5. I mean 1/2. That I really did not like those. I mean, I hate those movies. I hated them when I was like little, and I was biased against everything when I was little. I loved everything when I was little. That is when you know that you made an offender. It's that bad. DJ Dix, there's not much nudity in Oppenheimer. I mean, there's a little, but not that much. But just even if there's a little, it's done. There's a very small chance of me watching it. To be fair, DJ, you're like 18 years old, so you have different rules. I mean, you're legally an adult now, I think. So uh, I'm only 14, so I can't see everything. I've seen a few things like that. I probably shouldn't have, but to be fair, those were accidents that came out of nowhere. But also, I have a bad luck of seeing the movies that I see some kinky stuff in are just that they have a problem with being the films that I think are really bad films. Have you seen the Escape Room or 13 Hours? If you have on either one of those, can you give me your thoughts on them? I've not seen it either. I when you said Escape Room, I thought you were saying Escape Plan, which has Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, the iconic duo, like having an argument and stuff. That's a film I really want to see, even though I hear the second and third are really bad. But 13 Hours, I think you recommended me to watch that one. I think it's like a doesn't it star Wesley Snipes? Yeah, I think it stars Wesley Snipes in like a. It's kind of like a Die Hard movie ripoff or something. I have no idea what it is. I may be thinking of something else, but I know there's like a Die Hard knockoff that has Wesley Snipes in it. That has a number in it as well. DJ Dix. I might be legally an adult, but technically you're not truly an adult until you're 21. That's fair. Yeah, you're legally an adult, but you're not a true adult until you're 21 technically. Leon, which do you prefer, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory by far. I think Johnny Depp is a fantastic actor. He's like a top 10 actor, maybe top 5 actually. But I do not like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at all. I don't like it at all. It's a bad movie in my opinion. And one of Johnny Depp's worst. And he has a pretty good amount of bad movies in his ledger. He does have the fourth and fifth Pirates of the Caribbean. I have not seen those, but I hear they're pretty bad. Film Kid. No, it has John Krasinski. The movie I recommended with you with Wesley Snipes was Passenger 57. Oh, no, it's that one. It's probably my most underrated movie. Look up the Rotten Tomatoes scores right now. You'll see. Oh yeah, I remember that. I looked up the score. It was in like the 20s, uh or high tens. Like I hear that like the critics really didn't like it. But to be fair, very few Die Hard ripoffs get a higher score than. There's only one Die Hard knockoff that has a higher score than Die Hard, and that is Speed, which is technically a Die Hard knockoff. It has a very similar plot line of like this unlikely hero having to rescue some people in a enclosed position from a very smart villain. So depends on if you call it a Die Hard knockoff. I do. DJ Dix. I posted a poll and asked when you're truly uh two when you're truly an adult, and 2 people voted 21. I may not have seen that one, but that is probably very smart. You're not truly an adult until you're 21 technically. It isn't a Die Hard ripoff. It's a hijacking plane movie. So it's kind of like Die Hard from what I've heard, but it's still really good. You should check it out. Yeah, I've had a pretty good history with the Die Hard knockoffs of liking them. Like Air Force One, I think is good. I think all the Die Hard knockoffs are awful when compared to Speed, but sorry, oh yeah, awful compared to Speed and Die Hard. Speed's the only one that can come close to Die Hard, but I will make sure to check that if I can find somewhere to stream it. Or if not, I may just like rent it or something. But I hear it's a good movie. I think it may be rated R, but I'm probably more prone to seeing a rated R Die Hard knockoff than a PG-13 one, because R-rated movies, I had a problem where I watched several R-rated movies. So then when I go back to watch PG-13 movies, like in the R-rated movies, you see the actual blood coming out. So it's like really cool to see that. And you just watch PG-13 movies and it doesn't show it, or it does something to censor it. It looks pretty cheap now. For me, that's one of the reasons Live Free or Die Hards were lower in my Die Hard ranking. That may be a hot take. I don't know. You're either one of two people. Someone that goes in their Die Hard ranking 5, 4, 2, 3, 1, or you're someone that goes 5, 2, 4, 3, 1. I'm in the former of 5, 4, 2, 3, 1. Film Kid. Oh wait, it is rated R for just for the violence and language. Yeah, that means it should be a. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say pretty good movie because there are some R-rated movies that I think are awful, like Alien v Predator. Ugh. Requiem. Have you, Leon? Have you seen Mrs. Doubtfire? No. But it has Robin Williams in it, so it can't be that bad. Because I can't think of a single bad film that he has. He has some great films like Good Will Hunting, but does he actually have a bad one? DJ Dix. If it wasn't for a little bit of nudity or language in Oppenheimer, it could have totally been PG-13. It's soft R. I would go moderate R if it has nudity. That you can't if you have nudity in a film, it doesn't go to soft. It'll go to moderate pretty fast because I hear that it's pretty graphic, that scene, because my grandmother actually saw the film in theaters. Oh, but that would have been such a cool experience, even though it looks like it's a pretty dark movie because you actually get to see the atomic bomb get launched in on people. I actually saw a video on YouTube where it showed the atomic bomb and how it destroyed people, and it was, oh, that really scared me. Whew. So we may go for a few more minutes, but I'm not going to try and keep it on too long. So we've had a very good Q&A so far. So thank you all so much for joining in. So if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. So if you have any more needing questions that you have to have, let me know. Okay, Film Kid. There's only a couple of PG-13 movies that have nudity, and it's normally them sneaking in a real in a real in wait in a rear end. Yeah, yeah. Some movies can get away with that, like Lost City, which is awful. I say that has nudity in it. Same. Titanic actually does have it, but it's not in rear end, and that's really what surprised me, that they can still get away that they were able to get away with that in the '90s. I guarantee you they would not get away with that today. Rocky Five has a tiny bit of it, but it comes out of nowhere and it's very quick. It's like a blink and you'll miss a moment. But very few films do that nowadays. Not many films can get away with that, but once in a while one will squeak past. But now they're more prone to get R-rated. But if you have any final questions, we may end this thing. So I'll do this for maybe 5 more minutes. Titanic made me cry when I first watched it. It made me cry, and I haven't even seen the film. I saw a scene in which we see the Titanic sink. It was sad. How does this film? How is this film in the PG-13 zone? This film is very R-rated. You can tell. The story of the Titanic alone is R-rated. It's not meant for the broadest possible audience. It's meant for a mature audience. Kind of like RoboCop the remake. It should not have been PG-13. It's more of an R-rated movie. It's an R-rated thing. What's the hardest R movie you've seen? Ooh, that's a good question. The most hard R-rated movie. I'm gonna need a. Actually, no. I'm gonna. In terms of some kinkiness, I maybe The Predator or Predators, because they have a painting in that, or Die Hard that has a quick little that has 3 posters that you can see in different occasions, but otherwise no clue about that one. And in terms of violence, easily John Rambo, but also John Rambo has a tiny bit of nudity in it too, but it comes out of nowhere. It's a blink and you'll miss a moment. That's one of the biggest blink and you'll miss a moments I've seen in a movie. But John Rambo or Rambo Last Blood, some of the most gruesome and graphic violence I've ever seen in a movie. So those are very hard R's. Film Kid. So these are my last 2 questions. One of them is like an answer type thing, and one of them is a question. Have you seen the Maze Runner movies? And Creepshow is an anthology horror movie. Oh, it's an anthology. Got it. So it can still be scary. There are some anthologies that are pretty scary, but I have not seen the Maze Runner movies. And Film Kid, I haven't seen the Green Mile. I've seen the electric chair clip, and that made me cry. There's an electric chair clip. That must be why people always say the ending's so sad. But I actually just got permission to watch The Shawshank Redemption today, so be on the lookout for a review of that, because I hear that movie is fantastic. So I'm gonna review The Shawshank Redemption as soon as I can. But that is also a really sad movie, I hear. But that Stephen King really knows how to either make a very scary movie, well, I mean, a very scary book that would be translated into a scary movie like It or The Shining, or he can make some sad books that can be translated into sad movies like The Green Mile or The Shawshank Redemption. I'm not allowed to watch The Shawshank Redemption, but I'm allowed to watch The Green Mile. My dad said next year I can probably watch The Shawshank Redemption. No offense, your parents have some very odd rules. Like you can see things like Predator 2, uh, which is definitely a hard R, and other stuff like that. But when it comes to films that you're probably old enough for, you can't see those ones. That's kind of what confused me. Like there are some films that I would say you're probably old enough for, but I mean, they may not like drugs in that, but I don't even think there's drugs in that. I mean, there's some stuff in there, but not too much. But I can guarantee you'll like the film. It's The Shawshank Redemption and Green Mile. Also, I hear that one's also good, but I've been avoiding that one because I hear it's so sad. That one it's also a 3 hour and 15 minute long movie. It's around 3 hours. So I do not want to have to spend 3 hours getting myself stabbed in the chest with getting stabbed in the chest with a knife for like 3 hours with such sad things. So Predator film kids. So Predator 2, my dad didn't know what was in it, so he let me go ahead, thinking that it was gonna be like the first one. And when I first watched it, I turned it off when the scene came on. Okay, yeah, that's pretty. Okay, that is actually. I'm trying not to laugh. That is kind of funny, though. I'm sorry that's happened to me a few times. I mean, that does happen. That can come out of nowhere too. Film kid, but when I watched it and skipped the scene, yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. DJ Dix, if you haven't seen Psycho, you should watch it. It's on a very hard R. If the movie came out today, it would have been PG-13. Uh, there's one scene of nudity, but they don't show the genitals. Okay. Yeah, my parents would definitely nowhere near let me watch it if it showed that, but I may watch it. I hear it's a classic. I hear two's also pretty good. I hear the remake is awful. The remake I hear is also good. And for some reason it's basically just a copy and paste the original except for like one masturbation scene, which of all the things that you could have added in new to a Psycho remake, you add in that. That is a odd choice for me. But that's all I know about it. I may see Psycho. Don't know though. Oh, and film kid. Oh, and I forgot. So, I forgot. Sicario has one scene where they show male nudity, but it's hard to see because it's a far distance. It's not really male nudity that's my parents get bothered with. It's more of the other gender that they would be less prone to let me see. Leon, Psycho is a fantastic movie. 2 is also good, but the remake is trash. Why am I not surprised by that? I hear the remake is really bad, like awful. DJ Dix, I wanted Psycho when I want. I watched Psycho when I was 13. Was the first R-rated movie I've watched. It's not hard R. Okay, I have a bit of nostalgia for my first R-rated movie. I believe that was 1917. I actually have a few buddies that I told that were actually John Wick. John Wick was my second R-rated movie. I always forget that 1917 is rated R. It has a lot of blood in it. That's why it got rated R. It's not too gory. It's just a war movie, but it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. But that's my first R-rated movie I've ever seen. Contrary to belief that it was John Wick. It was not John Wick. John Wick was my number 2. That was what really introduced me to like the really graphic R movies. And then I started like going into like R-rated movies that I just now see as on a daily basis almost. Probably not a good thing, but still. Film kids, same thing with my parents. They really do not care. It's male nudity because I'm a male and it's normally female when they have to decide. Same thing here. It's not usually too bad on certain movies that I see, like T2. Pretty much all the Terminators have that. Salvation's pretty tame. It doesn't have anything. But to be fair, it was PG-13, so they couldn't go too far with it. But Genesis got away with it for a tiny bit because Genesis was pretty good at that. But I actually really like the movies. Film Kid, you and I need to have a discussion about getting a. You and I need to have a discussion about doing this versus episode on live about Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines versus Terminator Salvation. Jay and Host, I don't know, will be able to do it because they never speak in their videos, but that would be really fun to do since we have we are on two complete sides. We are on two complete different sides. And that we can stream live today together. I don't know how to do that actually. I would need to find out how. So I don't. If you know how, then let me know. But if you don't, then that would be hard for me to do. But we can. If you know how to, let me know. But so far, I don't know how to do it. It's just an idea I have. But that would be a very fun thing because you hate Terminator Salvation. I hate Rise of the Machines. I know how to. Then let me know how you know how to. If it's using emails or something, I don't think it would be a good idea to give our emails away where people can read them. And DJ Dix, what are some soft R rated PG-13 movies you can think of? Soft R hard PG-13 movies. Soft R, I would go with First Blood. There's one scene where it does show Rambo's butt. That's not very hard R. Maybe in the back then it probably would have been R rated for that, but it's the violence is pretty tame in that. There's like one scene where it shows like a mutilated half side of a cop, and oh, okay, Film Kid. I can't do it right now. I may try and do it later at like 2 o'clock. I can like try and go live. If it doesn't work, then we can talk about that part later. But we can try that. But also, but that's a really good one. First Blood's not too hard R. It's not neither are part 2 or 3. They're the 4 and 5 are just the really big offenders on that. And what is the other one? Wait, is it around 12:30 p.m. for you right now? It is 12:27 for me. So yes. So and I'm trying to speed's not actually speed. Speed is a soft R. Speed is soft R. There's nothing too inappropriate in that one. It's not too violent also. Heading off, great live stream. Bye. Well, thank you everyone so much. I better end the live stream. Film Kid, I will send you a chat letting you know if I can today. Okay, so we're on the same time frame. Great. I will see if we can do this later today, and hopefully we can. And also, if it is, it's going to be very divisive. But if we can, then I will talk to you later. Thank you all so much for watching. Last comment that we have, DJ Dick, some soft R movies and hard PG-13s. I would think The Dark Knight, Psycho, Insidious, The King's Speech, and Justice League: The Snyder Cut. Justice League: The Snyder Cut is it's pretty soft R. It's just a bit of blood that they show. That kind of offended the censors too bad. And Film Kid, yeah, sure, just send me a message on my most latest community tab or YouTube video and I'll try and hook it up. Okay, thank you, Film Kid. I will try and see if I can take care of that. And thank you all so much for watching this. Have a great day, everyone. I may be on a live stream later today, so be sure not to miss that. And if so, have a good one. Thank you so much for doing this, and have a good one.